Hello, love. Hey, here we are with the Absolute DC show. I'm here with Gray, who is, I can't even say you sound like you feel under the weather. You feel like you're even way beyond that. I'm going to have to make you all Genki, and I want to hear what people think of this accent you have going. What up, Gray?
I want to hear you make me Genki, Jim. Come
Yeah.
on, you can do it. You can do it.
I'm telling you, now all of a sudden,
reversed our roles today, haven't we?
you talk now, and I'm telling you, before we started, I swear to God, you were suddenly American. You were like, "Hello, Jim. What's happening right now?" You're feeling bad. You end up where you are not feeling well at all, and you sound like shit. Is what you sound like. So, I'm gonna tell you that
Thanks, love.
hopefully, the books will chipper you up. And in that, Edward Hawa, because we are live, and if you want to get involved, we usually will start. Now, here's the thing too. It was funny because we started 7:15. You're not feeling well. I actually was about to start, and if you join me, whatnot. You said that you were actually shocked that I didn't get somebody else to join us. But in the meantime, we had a bunch of people waiting. The minute that I hit go live, like 8 of them drop out. I'm like, you just waited all that time. We start and you bail. But it looks like they're coming back. Edward, though, saying live that it seems like forever since the last one. I do believe it was forever and 7 days.
How long was it?
It was a week.
Yeah.
It was a week ago.
Goodness.
Now, in that, I didn't have a Sunday show. I didn't do a best of and didn't do a preview show. I ended up kind of getting ticked off a bit. And this is what happens with me as well. I'm a very emotional fella, as you might know. And I kind of got ticked off last week. I got
What's
ticked
happened
off
to you,
here.
Jim? What's happened to your live shows?
I got angry at people talking to you on you doing a Absolute Martian Manhunter review and kind of just took a week off. I actually was like, screw this stuff. I'm going to just bail for this week. I will get back to doing things, hopefully. But in the meantime, this Martian Manhunter, just hooey, that we had last week, where we don't like the book. So we end up telling people we don't like the book. I said, basically, if you like the book, that's up to you. I don't really like it. We explained. I said, and it just seemed like 5 days of getting shit for it. Just the idea that we were kind of running scared a bit. Not running scared, but we knew the idea of, oh, if you don't like this book, you're not smart, you don't get it, whatever. I don't care.
I'd enjoy it more, Jim, if there was more story and more character development.
Yeah.
But hey, what do I know?
Yeah.
I'm irrelevant.
And so when you end up with the whole play of it, again, I don't know that we're going to review it anymore. I actually told a couple people that I actually have a lot of fun talking with. And suddenly it becomes, and I just, again, I'm so angry still that this review is, this show starting out with Absolute Martian Manhunter. I'll tell you, I don't necessarily think Dennis Camp's a great writer. I do not know him from Adam. I've never talked to him. I know that he has some wacky hair. He looks maybe like Jerry Cantrell. But in the meantime, I don't have anything against him except his writing. And the idea that people said, you don't like the book because you don't like him. No, I don't like him because I don't like his writing. I don't have anything personal against him. It's just, I guess we try to play it up and we have some fun with it. But in all, he could go screw himself. I can go screw myself. You don't screw yourself because you're a nice guy. But in the meantime, we're going to get to this week. But just as a service announcement, I don't know that we're going to talk about Martian Manhunter anymore. I'm already getting sick of getting shit for not liking it. And unless I read it next time and we like it, we probably will not talk about it. So we'll get on with this, though, because we're going to have a book and we're going to start with a book. I'm telling you, I'm already in a bad mood. And then
Me
I
too,
get on.
Jim. I'm getting attacked by a little wine fly here. What the hell's going on?
Seriously, it's a wine fly named Jolly Green. What's going on? See, you end up with all this bull crap, right? And you have this stuff going on. And now we're going to talk first about this Absolute Green Lantern book. Somehow I think that we're not going to get shit for not liking it. You know why? Because it's on Front Street and it's bad. It's not very good, right? But it's not confusingly bad or good. It's just not very good. And I think that most people...
110th Street.
Yeah, most people could just sit there and say, yeah, it's not really good. And then everybody's happy and we go on. But we'll discuss it. But boy, this book is weird. Like, you talk about Martian Manhunter weird. That's weird on purpose. This book is weird just... I don't know why. I don't get what is happening in the story.
Which book are we talking about now, Jim?
We are talking about Green Lantern. That's what we're talking about.
Green Lantern. What the heck is going on with this book this week?
Nothing. And it's very like, how small a story can you have where you even play this idea of jumping in time, and it's not really played out very well, and the art is not good. It ends up where I didn't even realize at point. I'm like, "Oh, who's that guy in the oh, that's Hal Jordan?" Like, I didn't even realize. I swear to God, I'm like, "Who's that 12-year-old? Oh, it's Hal Jordan." But so you have all these plays in this book, but I just don't get it. And you're gonna go and have present time Joe and Hal, but then go back in time without really explaining that you're going back in time. But that's what it seems is happening. People can discuss it and, maybe even argue with it. But boy, this book is problems. And it is The Absolute Green Lantern, #3, episode 3, The Philosopher's Stone. Al Ewing writing, Janoy Lindsay on art, color, and cover, Lucas Gattoni on letters. And I said that I'm not really a huge fan of Javier Rodriguez's art on Absolute Martian Manhunter, but that's more of a style thing. That's just not my style. I just don't really enjoy that type of art in my comic books. This, on the other hand, it's just not very good. It really doesn't give you anything. And I swear to God, I was confused with characters and things because when we start out, you do have John being talked to still, and it's John Stewart. You must have knowledge to command the flame. You must be without fear, entirely without. I know, I know. To then just jump in this thing where this Todd Rice comes out and says, hey, you want some of the good coffees? I
Hello,
didn't.
love. Have a
I'm
coffee.
telling. Am I an idiot? I did not know that they were actually stuck in this barrier still. I just didn't get it. So I'm like, okay, I get it eventually, but this whole play ends up where John has this weird deal of, oh, I have this ring. I thought it was a ring. I thought it was something important to be almost like a new Green Lantern type ring, but no, it's an earring that is from that biker that smashed into the barrier, but his earring flew off and went into this
Is that
barrier.
what the vultures are eating, Jim?
Yeah,
I'm
they're
confused.
eating him.
What
This is
the
I'm
heck's
saying.
going on?
This book ends up being confusing for no reason. Again, I will back away and say that Absolute Martian. It's always leads back to Absolute Martian Manhunter. I understand that that's
You can't help it, can you?
the
You're obsessed.
that story itself. And that's why I don't like it yet. But that book can end up where, boom, you reveal things and then you realize, okay, it's been ambiguous for a reason. When we get it, it's like that is on purpose. This seems like Al Ewing is just telling the story and it's just not really well done or really well laid out on the page to actually get what's happening, because you have the vultures outside the barrier. They're eating this biker who is just liquefied, right?
The splattered remains of a
just
bike.
splattered. So they can
my
see
God.
through the barrier to see these vultures doing this. John Stewart says, okay, well, I have this ring and I'm looking there and we see it. But then says, I think the barrier, he's jumped to so many conclusions, but he ends up saying, I think there's something going on outside the barrier. Everybody's forgotten about us. They've forgotten what's going on. They do this and whatnot to then have this van pull up and they start talking of, oh, here comes somebody else. Here's demonstrating our point. Oh, look, they come in. They see a body. What's that body? What's that vulture doing? What are they doing? Okay, I'm turning around and getting out of here. I'm like, I don't know what you're really getting at. Are you going and you're like, that's the outside. They're not going to end up hitting, but nobody's out there trying to help. And it feels really forced in a way of John saying, well, I think that outside the barrier, it affects people's minds and they don't even remember us or think that's a thing. And that is only so that nobody's coming to help them. But in the meantime, John says to Todd Rice, oh, everybody's inside because they're waiting for the adults to come. They're waiting for the government to swoop in, but they're not coming in.
Oh, the adults.
Yeah,
Jim,
the adults.
really?
Yeah, so then you end up having this and even like little things are like, hey, what about the food? Well, we still have power, so we have, refrigerators and stuff like that. So the food will be fine.
I like the way John asked about the food situation when he's looking at the bloody pulpy
the
remains
bloody
of that
pulpy
dead biker.
deal. I'm telling
Goodness
you,
gracious.
if it's me right now, I'm in this bubble, right? And I'm like, okay, shit's gone wrong. Nobody's coming to help us.
Are you the boy in the bubble?
Yeah, I am John Travolta. I'm going with the idea of, okay, who do I kill and eat first? John Stewart's a tough dude. Like, I'm not going for him. You got to be, subtle about this. So I'm like, okay, that old lady might be tough, but at least I'm alive. So I'm there. I'm already starting cannibalism within day one. They're like, but Jim, you have a whole refrigerator of food. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting bored of that stuff. I mean, it's like me on the keto diet. I'm like, I'm kind of bored with that. I need to start eating people. But in the meantime, it feels so nothing. Where you don't get we never really were able to kinda settle in with a story. I know it's only the 3rd issue, but this feels like I know even less of what's going on than, lo and behold, Absolute Martian Manhunter, because at least I see where what that's trying to do, it's just not hitting for me. This, though, I'm like, "Okay, well, what's up with Hal and Joe?" So they're going, and then suddenly John says, I think this isn't solid gold. It's painted gold, and throws it at the barrier because it already came through. He throws it at the barrier and it goes outside again to come up with the conclusion of I think that the barrier lets things that are fake and painted gold through. I'm like, I don't get it. And then it ties into him later saying, the Philosopher's Stone. I'm like, no, I don't. I know what that is. I get it.
I thought we dropped into a Harry Potter book for a
Exactly.
minute there,
Harry
Jim.
Potter.
Oh, Harry Potter.
So you end up where I'm like, okay, well, how about this? And is it the play? Are they trying to play a weird roundabout deal? Because all I think of is where's Batman in the All-Star Batman and Robin deal, all that All-Star deal, where he painted a whole room and himself gold when he painted it yellow so that Hal couldn't get to him? I'm like, if this is the case, paint everybody gold and get the hell out of there. But then they're like, well, it has to be kind of cheap plastic or whatever. I'm like, where's Plastic Man? And then they even say, like, is it that you need one person to get out so they could go and get somebody to come back? But if it does affect people outside, will it affect you once you go out to not even realize that you were in there or whatnot? But nothing plays out well as they're just drinking coffee and throwing an earring through a barrier in what appears to be a bit of a past deal, a bit of a, okay, this happened in the past, but in the present we go, and it's not a real good transition to
I've
go
got
and
no
have.
idea of the timeline, Jim.
Yeah,
At all. I've no idea what time we're on. Where are we?
because then we go back to Joe and Hal. Later, Hal will be there in the bubble bringing his Blue Devil little statue, and I didn't even know it was Hal. I thought it was some kid. Like, look at you. So you end up where Joe and Hal are fighting, and they're just going back and forth about the Black Hand. And, hey, Hal, you better control this. And I don't know. I can't turn it off. I don't want to attack you, but it needs the light. And then shoots at Joe, who then is able to do the Green Lantern stuff, almost like she just reacts. And then he's yelling, it wants your light. How do you control it? And then punches Hal with a giant fist. And I don't know what's happening in this book. And I see what's happening on the page, but I don't know why I should care. I don't know what the rub is here. I don't know what the shtick that I'm supposed to grab onto and say, oh my God, that's cool. The only cool thing, which people didn't even seem to think is cool, is that the idea that Hal has a black hand, which is kind of like Black Hand, but it's not. So even that is like, okay. And this,
why does he shoot Joe here, Jim? There's no
it
reason
seems
for
like
it,
it's
is it? Is it
controlled
like
by the hand.
he turns away, but it's just so weird. This I don't get it.
And it feels a lot like the idea of the hand, like talk to the hand. You have to say that at least once in the series. Talk to the hand, right?
Well, it looks like he's not even trying to fight it. He's just kind of like, resigned. He's just giving up. Oh, whatever. Turn around and like start shooting at
Yeah.
Joe. It's so weird.
It's weird, and it's weird in a way that doesn't feel like it's even trying to be clever. Because if it is, I don't get it.
You've got to control it.
You have
before.
Fear Monarch even said. I mean, and this is the deal. It's almost like you could say, but we have Full Metal Alchemist at home. You could make that joke because it feels like that a bit, but it feels like there's no such, like some things have that idea of, okay, maybe I don't understand this, but I think there's a story, or okay, this will lead to something. I see this as cool, and I don't see anything in this that makes me understand why I need to be reading it. It is the most insular book because you're basically playing most of it inside a bubble of a town. And then at the end, lo and behold, our main guy who seems to have a theory, he gets what seems to be obliterated, even though we thought Guy, and I don't get it. I really don't get what's happening because Joe and Hal fight. They end up where Hal's like, how are you controlling it? But he's like pulling back the hand, like it's idle hands or something here.
Tell it to the hand.
Yeah, and then Joe just like looks at it, and then boom, we go back to the bubble before where then John knocks on the door. Hey, Joe. And I'm like, at that point, I'm like, what the hell is going
And she's
on?
like, "What about my wedding ring?"
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Huh?
Huh? That's what
What?
I'm saying. I'm like,
I thought
wait
it
a
was an
minute.
earring.
I'm
Yeah, it's
telling
a
you,
wedding ring now, is it?
well,
Okay.
it's her wedding ring. He's going around, but he's like, is your wedding ring gold or what is it made of? And she's like, it's solid gold. Me and my wife fought about it. And he's like, oh, sorry. And I'm like, I don't get it. But the idea, I guess he's going to her and saying, hey, do you have a fake ass ring so I can show you something and throw it through it? In the meantime, he has a ring from his grandmother. Why are you going to Joe? It's just to get her involved. Then in the meantime, Hal, a la 17-year-old bro, that does not look like Hal, does it? And you don't
Nope.
even have them say, oh, he says, Hal, do you know what this is about? Where you have Joe ask Hal, but that does not look like Hal. It looks like a 10-year-old. And he's like, hey, look, I got the a crazy Blue Devil Funko Pop deal that's supposed to be gold, but it isn't. Oh, cool. Let's throw it through.
The Blue Devil is my favorite character in this book so far.
Yeah, and
It's
he's
awesome.
this golden chick.
There's
I'm telling
nothing
you,
going on with the other characters at all.
get the spray paint, go to the hardware store, get the gold paint, paint your ass gold, and get the fuck out of here. It's just like, oh, and they're like, a toy, whatever cheap junk I had to hand essentially, but it had to look like it was made of gold. Like, what are they saying? Who was I? If I was there, like, I wish I was in this book. I'm 2 feet away, and they're saying all this stuff, and I'm like, I think there's some sort of method. There's a gas leak in this bubble because you ain't making no sense. What are you talking about? And then
At
he
one
starts.
point, Joe says, "John, what is this?" And
Yeah.
she took the words right out of my mouth, Jim.
And so
What is
here we
this?
go.
Here we go. Come
I'll
on, do it.
I
Let's
don't
do
know
it.
what else to do but read from the thing. This is Joe. This alien force field that total speeding motorcycle right in front of us. It doesn't work on plastic. Then Hal goes, cheap plastic. And then John Stewart go, we need to stop applying the rules we know to the unknown. Already said that. That is not anything. It basically, me and you are in trouble. And you go, what are we going to do? And I'm like, well, what we have to do is not do it. You're what? You know, the things you think are right, we won't do them because they're wrong. You'd be like, you're saying nothing. You'd slap
You are
me.
love.
Yeah, so he says, ever hear of the Philosopher's Stone? Okay, he says, the central symbol of alchemy, the substance that turns base metal into gold. It can also heal wounds, prolong life, create homunculi. A light in an ever-burning lamp. It's a symbol. It stands for enlightenment. That's what the base becomes gold through knowledge. So yes, Joe, cheap plastic can breach a barrier. What are you talking? He just went through a whole discussion of the... She might as well have said, hey, who won last night's game? He's actually the Yankees ended up beating the Angels. They came back in the ninth inning. They won 4-3 with a walk-off homer by Aaron Judge. And by the way, yes, plastic does go through it. Like none of what he's saying.
Jim.
Yeah, it says, I think that's a clue. I think that you're insane. And then she goes, what about actual gold? I'm like, how did you even know how to respond? She says, you mean plastic goes through it? He goes through this whole thing. Homunculi, create this. It's life. It's that. It's this. Yeah, plastic. She throws this gold thing. The thing explodes, and now there's a hole, but it dissipates. So it's not cheap imitation gold. That can go through. But real gold makes a hole. I'm like, what you say?
With
I don't
10-year-old Hal, starts getting excited. Ooh,
Yeah, look
you made
at
a
him.
hole.
He's-
You made a hole in the
Yeah,
barrier.
exactly. He's like, oh my goodness. Like, there's like the hole where all the men look through at the truck stop. I'm aware of this. He's like, I'm going to put my hoodie on and go over here. And then she's like, how long was that? A second. So they figure, okay. And then I love even the idea where they're like, if everybody in town has gold, they're gold in these hills, we could get it all together. And John goes, yeah, and it'll be even better if they have a backyard furnace. I'm like... Why do you say that? It's just like, what? And he goes, but I don't think it's the intended goal. Really? Because I don't know what you're talking about. I don't think that's the lesson we're being. John Stewart, Abbott Sir shows up and he's like, you done figured shit out, so I'm going to obliterate. And done. He's gone. He gets obliterated. And they're like, oh, no, John.
No.
Todd Rice comes out, starts he starts blasting. Oh, my God. And then judgment is in progress, Todd Rice. Be without fear. He seems to be gone. I'm like, no, actually, he gets hit and he's just standing there sad with a shotgun. And then Hal's like, woe is me. I wish John wasn't on Front Street with this. We should have been a little bit more subtle. Oh god, I'm gonna go back and start painting shit in my thing, because already we saw Hal. I love the idea that in this Hal is completely a nerd, that it looks like he collects Funko and things. He's definitely like, "I better go get my paints that I paint my D&D figures with." He didn't wanna say it because there'd be like Joe would be like, "Really? I'm stuck in a freaking bubble with a guy like this? Like, get out of here, nerd." But he goes back and he's gonna paint everything gold. "I'm gonna paint these bullets gold. I'm gonna paint this gold. I'm gonna do this gold." And I'm like, "Okay. All right, paint your ass gold. Get out of here." At the end, I'm completely just I'm astounded of how little I care about this, even with the idea of being confused. It's the idea of, if I try to figure it out, where do I get? Jon Stewart yelling about the Philosopher's Stone, Black Hand, Joe Mullins in the whatever near future where they're fighting, and then this idea of a barrier that you can get through with gold, but it might be because of something else, but cheap plastic works, and at the end, oh well. It's weird. It's a weird book, and I don't think that in something like this, it's doing any bit of good in the idea of being stuck in this, and it feels like what happened is that you ended up getting the Green Lantern stuff is so big and so that I think that Al Ewing wanted to go a little small with it, maybe, and small in the point of, I'm going to do this weird, wacky story because I don't want to but it just feels like it feels like nothing. I don't know, but what would you think? What do you give it? We're just going to get out of this one. What score would you give?
What do I give? Jesus. I
I
give it
don't
like a
know.
wide berth, Jim. How
Yeah,
about that?
yeah, really.
Yeah, as you say, it's ridiculously slow. I think Barlord was saying that in the chat as well. It's so slow. It feels like it's going nowhere. It feels like we're stuck at the same moment, just repeating
Yeah,
it.
we're stuck
I
in
don't
the
know.
bubble.
We are. We
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
I'm
And
giving it a 4. I'm 4 out of 10
I'm a
for this.
3. I
There
I'm
you go.
telling you.
Look at us. Look at us, Mr. and Mrs. Positive.
Like, "There's
Jesus.
gold in them there cards. Get me my mule," says Phil. I'm like, "Can you dig under the poor? You could just dig under, maybe. Paint yourself gold." That's all I'm doing. I'm painting my ass gold, and then just going to touch it. They never really established. Like, the guy hit it in his motorcycle. He
You
was
and
going
your
pretty
ass. You
fast,
can't
right?
keep your hands off it,
And
can
that's
you?
the thing. I'm only painting my ass, and then I'm gonna lean out. My ass goes through because it's gold. I rip a fart and I laugh. I'm like, "Look at me. I'm
I
mooning
tell you, Jim,
everybody.
I
I'm
can't wait till we
farting."
get the comments after this is over. Like, oh, you just don't understand it. You
Yeah.
need to read beyond comic books. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah. I'll be told that I have to know more about psychology. Is what
Yeah,
I
if you
was
read
told.
Freud or
Legit, I
Jung,
love the idea that I hate people
God's
doing
sake.
it, but I got so mad because the guy's like, "Well, you guys obviously don't know anything about psychology." I'm like, "I don't know about you, pal, but I actually have some advanced degrees in. There's a lot of different, fields, but don't give me
Ooh, look
that
at you
bullshit."
pulling
Yeah,
your advanced
I
degrees
told you I
out.
was talking.
Oh my,
I
out your ass.
I started up to throw some stuff around of all the time I wasted in school and did nothing with it. So I'm like, that's all I
Same
did.
here. Same here.
I got advanced degrees in psychology only so when somebody yells at me about a Martian Manhunter book that's bullshit, I can come back with that. It was worth it. It was worth all of the money I spent. It was well worth it.
Jim, I've actually got an advanced degree in staring out the window.
Yeah, I think I have an
It's
advanced
true.
degree of being
That was most of
annoyed.
my school time
Yeah,
was spent staring out the
yeah,
window.
yeah.
There you go.
I was in a band. That was fun. But hey, there we go.
That's awesome. You're
Yeah,
just
and
showing off now. You're making me jealous.
yeah. So, and I saw Elric says, "I love all the Absolute books except this one."
Except this
And
one.
again, I'd even ask Elric, I think that he might say the same thing. This is how I feel completely. I don't hate this book because I
No.
don't know what's happening. Like, the idea of it's such a non-thing. I'm just apathetic. I'm yelling now, but the thing
It's
is,
because there's nothing happening, Jim. There's nothing happened in this issue.
yeah.
A ring
Freud
got
or
thrown
Jung.
through a barrier, and that was it. For
Yeah,
God's
so
sake.
all of these things going, it just ends up feeling very small because of the barrier, but very nothing. And
And we kept being told, gold, gold. By the way, folks, gold.
yeah,
Like,
it's
okay,
gold,
we get it. For
gold
God's
in
sake,
these
can you do a bit of
hills.
story?
Yeah, fake plastic
Jesus.
gold. Paint your ass gold. That's what I say. And I go with Jung therapy than Freud. Freud's nonsense.
I'm
So,
just scrolling through some reviews on League of Comic Book Geeks. Yeah, I guess we just don't understand it, Jim, because they all seem to bloody love it.
but I understand.
What
I
happened
fully
in this
understand
issue?
why people
Nothing.
will like Absolute Martian Manhunter more than me. It's one of those books that is very wacky. Very wacky. So a lot of people will tend to go with that
It's
and
wacky
say,
for wacky's sake,
but
just for being wacky.
or people did say I like Ultimate X-Men. It's a
Mm.
wacky book, right? It's doing its own thing, whatever. I like it. And as people say about the Martian Manhunter book, you're getting something you don't get any other place. I don't know what to say about this. I don't know. And maybe we should have started with Superman, because I'm telling you, last week we end up talking about Absolute Martian Manhunter and then go off and wax poetic about how much we enjoyed Wonder Woman. Not one person talked about how much we liked Wonder Woman. It got lost in the whole shuffle. Maybe we should have started with, I don't even love Superman, but I like it more than
You
this.
guys, you
But
just hate us, aren't you?
that's
So
what I'm
it's like,
saying.
did you even listen to the Wonder Woman review?
If you end up having two reviews and you don't like
Oh,
one
dear.
book and you like the other, how are you an absolute hater? And then I mean, I'll give you credit, but I don't know why. You're so respectful, and you're sitting there
me?
and you are basically saying to people, listen, if you like this, it's great that you like it. I just don't get it. I want this. And then that asshole shows up and he's like yelling at you like you dissed him or something. I'm telling you, I'm listening. I'm like, Gray is way too nice. And then you say at one point, like, oh, well, everybody, it would be boring. Basically said it'd be boring if everybody liked the same things, but I like Absolute Batman. Yeah, I bet you do, as a diss, because you're a dummy. I'm like, there must be a lot of dummies out there, because that book's selling, right?
Oh my goodness, Jim!
Ooh-wee.
Look at you!
I'm
You got
telling
a
you,
rant. It's amazing.
Until Thursday, I thought to myself, like, screw this. I'm not even doing it. I didn't do 3 other shows because I was like, I'm just pissed off and I don't want to sound like a jerk off. Here I am. I'm a jerk off. I'm just going to go with it. But
Jim, here we go. This is just one random review from Lee. I'm pulling it out of my arse.
you're
Here
just
we
trying to
go.
get me upset. That's what
Where
you're
are
doing.
I can't even read the name. Queso de Papa says, loving the pace of this series.
The pace!
Everybody is a main character holding their own. This issue was golden. Wink. 4 out of 5.
He likes the
8 out of
pace.
10. What?
This book is going. It's going nowhere slow.
It's so slow. It's going backwards. It
is.
stopped and going backwards.
I think it is. It's like it's like the Philosopher's Stone, right? Every time you. Here we go. We're moving on to the next one.
Jim, if you rub the Philosopher's Stone at the right time of day, what happens? Do you know?
I'll tell you when you rub my Philosopher's Stone. So you're gonna
I
have
bet you
some,
do.
man, you can rub it any time of day. You big boy. Here we go. Absolute Superman. This is issue number 8. In this series, a lot of people's biggest complaint is we don't get a lot of Superman. That's my biggest complaint. I'm liking what is happening. I like the overall thing. This issue almost comes to the point of me realizing that maybe I'm a dummy, continuing with being a dummy with everything, because I don't know that I can keep defending the lack of Superman in this book, but yet I still like it because I like the other characters. And again, there's a weird pacing when it comes to Superman, but there are some things going on. And at least, I don't know, even the idea of having a Mega Man Jimmy Olsen, at least you grabbing onto something that's different, but at least you can grab onto it. Lois Lane and the Lazarus.
Jimmy, how are you doing?
Yeah, Ra's al Ghul leading the Lazarus Corporation. Christopher Smith. Like, there are things in this that actually make me feel like, okay, I kind of see this whole play, but you need to get more Superman.
I'm not sure about this absolute universe version of Ra's al Ghul. Just got to say that, Jim.
Man.
For one thing, I don't like his long hair. I don't like his suit. Jesus, I don't know what's going on with him.
I think that you're just...
Look at the size of his shoulders.
I think you're just a jerk.
I am, it's true.
I don't like that they put people in a Lazarus and they come out a baby. I was like, what's going on there? Look at these babies.
That's what I say.
So you have Absolute Superman number 8. And, I'm tired. I've tired myself out. I ran today and I had some problems.
Did you?
Yeah, I was out
yesterday. I thought I was going to die. I thought I was going to have a heart attack, Jim.
I actually thought
I'm not in a good state, man.
I'm not even joking. I thought I was having a heart attack today. I think I did yesterday. It's so humid out, and also,
same here.
Also, I don't love to wear underwear. Just to tell everybody, so I'm running and it's like gnip-gnopping down there, and I hurt myself, and then I thought I was having a heart attack. I had some problems.
Jim's commando photos are the favorite photos he ever sent me.
I was running commando, and I was having problems. Jason Aaron writing, Rafa Sandoval on art, Ulysses Ariel on colors, Becca Carey on letters. You end up, I didn't say it before, but Ash Padilla as the assistant editor, and Chris Conroy as editor. That's for
Oh,
Yeah. And
Chris Conroy, eh?
yeah,
Okay.
this is of the first three books that came out. It's my third favorite. I actually like Wonder Woman first, then Batman, then this. And in fact, those are my first three books in the overall rankings as well. And it's kind of a weird play. You get more issues. I mean, it's more expanded. So one of the
Jim, I
others
was glad
could
to read
do.
this after Green Lantern. I was
Remember,
so glad
and
because
yeah,
this has actually got a good story in it. You know, it's got things happening in it.
yeah, like I said, at least you can grab onto things and say, okay, I get this, and that's continuing that. I just don't know what's happening in that Green Lantern. So when you get this, it does start with we've seen the Omega Men trying to, infiltrate Lazarus at one point. We saw them, remember, they were trying to get Brainiac at one point, and Brainiac was like turning their skins inside out and making them do all that crazy stuff the last
Oh
issue.
yeah.
So now it is, and again, it's Jason Aaron trying to make a badass out of Ra's al Ghul, which, like you said, I like Ra's al Ghul as being this calculating guy, usually all up and he's like Greta, yelling about the global warming and stuff and how
How
there's
dare
too many
How
people in the
dare
world.
you?
He wants to thin
Yeah.
out the herd. So you have it there, but this almost feels like, oh man, that Batman, that dumb bad Batman with this stupid dump truck kicking babies. Like we need somebody like that in here, and it's like Ra's al Ghul is just like over the top. Almost plays out in my mind, feels more like Vandal Savage than Ra's al Ghul, but ends up just destroying this guy, this
I
Omega
felt
Man.
like Jason Aaron was trying to outplay, Scott Snyder with
That's
not
what I'm saying.
booting
That's
the
what it
baby
feels
off
like.
the boat, Jim. Fucking dropping a baby
Yeah,
off the
I'm telling
balcony.
you.
What the hell's going on?
Yeah, you just told everybody why I do laugh at this issue again, because I
That's
love
the best part.
the
I knew it.
absolute universe is anti-baby, and a lot of people are. I get it, but
It
boy,
is.
it's like so crazy. But booting a baby into the bay, a Twi'lek baby, that's hilarious. Dropping just
That
this
is,
poor
yeah.
poor
Nothing
little Omega Man
will ever
baby
match
out of
that.
the deal.
That
I'm
was
like,
the one. That was a moment for me.
yeah, that was. This didn't even have, like, you didn't even see the moment. You saw the kicking of the baby. This one wasn't as good. Like, what you needed was the baby being dropped and then the baby falling Hans Gruber style, where you see him, oh no, the baby's
Slow
like
motion.
flailing its arms out. It'd be the best. Oh no, look at the baby. But it's during a conference call, and it's played out to be badass. The idea that he's doing this meeting,
Yeah.
board meeting, and he's like, "Hey, everybody, I'm beating the crap out of these people," while in the meantime throws one of the Omega Men into this Lazarus pit. And you see that it looks like it's synthetic deal. They're kind of getting it together, so that's why Ra's al Ghul the tag in. But it seems like it's a bigger story of him trying to get a progeny, I would say, trying to get
Ooh,
maybe a
look at you with
son,
the fancy
something,
words.
and tying it into almost like a Jesus Christ figure. But in the meantime, you just get
Jesus
little
Christ.
goo goo gaga baby, and he picks him up and he's like, "Oh look, like a newborn baby," and then throws him out the window. I'm like, "Yep, that tracks." Even Martian Manhunter at one point, remember, he was yelling at the baby. That was pretty good too. So you end up where anti-baby, and I'm here for it. But in the meantime, this is just to show, hey everybody, Ra's al Ghul is badass, and he is a threat, and he'll kill babies, and he'll do all this, and he hasn't found the person who he wants to produce to make this universe, and says, I'm the one who realized what was going on. I end up turning Metropolis from this and playing the idea of going with the Lazarus and continuing through. So I get it. It was okay. Like you said, it's a little over
yeah.
the top. It felt
It
like,
is.
and if you are reading all the books, it definitely felt like, yeah, you're trying
It's
to
a
get
lot more
you're trying to
entertaining,
get
Jim,
that
isn't it?
absolute Batman feel though with this
Yeah,
Ra's
yeah,
al Ghul,
yeah.
and I'm fine with that. That's okay. In the meantime, though, you also have to show that Lazarus building is so damn big, especially compared to the Daily Planet and things like that. It's the biggest building in Metropolis. But there you go. He's
Damn
doing
it,
all
Jenna.
this stuff. So then, where you go to Smallville. And there's Superman. There is Cal, and he's there with Ma Kent. We saw before. Remember, Ma Kent woke up and was like, "Hey, where's my son from the stars?" And we found out like there wasn't much to that. When we had that
No.
issue, me and you were a little disappointed. There wasn't more of the thing. He just
I
left.
think Jason Aaron's he's trying to make us cry here, Jim, with this scene,
Yeah.
isn't he? What do you think?
I'm not crying. I look, first off, Ma Kent looks like she's like 700. Like, throw her ass in a Lazarus pit, make her a baby, and then throw her off
I
a
like the
building.
photo of Mara and Parker.
Yeah, there they
in
are.
the
Like, hey,
background there.
so
That's a nice one.
my favorite is like, hey, he wasn't even around enough to even call her Ma. It's Miss Martha. Hey, Miss Martha, I know you said that you like the
Yeah,
ocean,
that
so
that
I
was a
got
bit weird.
yeah, I got
Yeah.
seashells from all 5 oceans. She's like, "What am I gonna do with that?" I wanted her to, like, kinda come to and be very clear, like, sudden she gets an epiphany. He's like, "What the hell? I wanted to see
Jonathan,
this
is
shit.
that
I don't
you?
need seashells, down at the seashore." Ends up
She sells seashells, Jim.
exactly. So then she's like, "Jonathan, Jonathan, what's going on?" And I'm like,
There's someone in
"Uh-oh."
my room.
I thought we were going to get a chief situation, pillow overhead. But you end up where she's like, oh my God, Jonathan, there's
Too
somebody here,
soon.
Jonathan, Jonathan." And he's like, "It's not, it's me, Cal." "No, Jonathan." "Okay, I'm out of here." And then just leaves. And then
He just
he's,
leaves her. He
yeah,
leaves her, Jim.
then he's in the middle of town.
Time
Nobody's
for a
there.
sharp exit.
I will tell you, yes, exit stage everywhere. He goes off.
Uh,
And then you do have where it's played out well that you see Lazarus has bought everything in Smallville.
yeah.
Lois is there because she's kind of figured out the idea of Ma and that. So she's there to kind of grab Superman and say, "Hey, I don't know. Hey, I want to help you. I want to know more about you." In the meantime, you get a Omega Men operative, and I knew right away it was I just have we I don't think we've seen it before, but I knew it was going to be Jimmy Olsen. You kind of get that feel of it going to be that they're arguing back and forth. "Hey, you Omega Man, you're assholes. No, you're an asshole." And really, of the whole play is Lois is the asshole. She works for Lazarus. Like, "You work for the assholes." She's like, "Yeah, I guess so." But in the meantime, Superman ends up seeing him and is like, "Screw both of you," and then flies off to be like 10 feet away so he can eavesdrop, even though and he's just listening to them. And then they're debating on what's going on with Lazarus versus Superman and why are they doing this? And all of a sudden you end up where Superman comes back and says, "The reason I came here was because of Peacemaker Smith, Christopher Smith, because I thought I would kill him if I get anywhere near him for what he did to those people in Pakistan. So I just came here to settle down before I did something that I would regret." Boom, he gets shot by a kryptonite bullet. And I'm like, oh God. Because actually at that point I thought, okay, I wouldn't mind an issue where Superman, then they lay low. "Hey, you hungry? Let's go get some, go to a diner." I want some more about Superman. I want to see him react to people. I want to see him. We really haven't had it. Now he's falling over with a kryptonite bullet in him. And Saul's yelling, "Oh my God, it looks like it's," and we know it's kryptonite. And Jason Aaron's playing this game like where Saul's trying to figure it out. I get it, but we kind of know what's happening. And there you go. You have all these peacemakers come in, and you do see, lo and behold, Christopher Smith is in the lead of them. This one poor guy's like, "Hey, Smith, it's a great pleasure to deal with you and be on your team." And then later, I think that's the guy who ends up like getting his face almost crushed by him because he
Jim,
ends
what's
up
going on
asking.
with Smith here?
He's
Like,
been
what's happened
completely
to him?
changed by Brainiac. Remember, Brainiac had him on the
Yeah,
table, so he ended
yeah.
up, he's almost like a Metallo version of him.
Mm.
So he comes in and he just is like, here's the thing, too. You do need some heavy hitters to get Superman. You do have Ra's al Ghul wants Superman, but you
Yeah.
don't want him dead. Don't send this wackadoo in. This guy he just wants to kill him and says it continuously. And only at the end does Ra's kind of step in and deactivate him so that he doesn't do it, or Brainiac, because
He's just getting started.
yeah,
Jim.
yeah. While still Lois and Jimmy are yelling at each other. And that's where Jimmy's helmet goes. And you're like, yeah, it's Jimmy.
I thought it was supposed to be bulletproof. said
Yeah,
Jimmy.
yeah. And they're like, "I don't know what's going on." But I'm like, maybe look, because there's green shit coming out of his chest. Like, you got to get him out of there. And they start debating on who could help him better.
By the
Jimmy
way, he's
says,
bleeding here, yeah. He's bleeding red, isn't he? I
yeah,
thought Superman
yeah.
had like a different colour blood.
Yeah, no.
Is that something else?
Red deal. He's gone. He's got that kryptonite gas going. It looks like he ate chili last night. But
He does, yeah.
so with that, you end up where Smith comes in, grabs him, and just starts beating the living crap out of him. At this point, I don't know why he's wasting his time. He could pick him up and take him. That
I
he
bet
just
you
he
remember
wants
me
to,
now.
because now he's freaking out. Hey, you're not
Yeah.
laughing at me like they did here. But in the meantime, Superman definitely, because he picks him up. He could just get him on that helicopter. Done.
Why is he punching him saying,
Done
"I
and
want to
done.
hear you laugh, Jim"?
Yeah,
Tell me.
Well,
Why?
because those people outside
bit
that
weird, it's a bit
barrier
freaky.
last issue when he ended up going crazy in Pakistan is because he thought everybody was laughing at him. So he thinks that he's
yeah.
completely bonkers. Why
Look
did
at
they?
you,
Why?
remembering things.
Why?
That's
I know
brilliant.
that you souped him up. Don't send him out. He is not right, and you have to realize that. And here's the play: is You shot him with a kryptonite bullet. How you knew that would work or whatnot, it worked. You do not need overpowered now. You could just, I could go in, I think, and grab him and take him away. But this guy, he's going on and on. Even at one point, Superman tries to blow him. And it is a joke, but ends up with this frost breath where it barely could freeze a popsicle and just gets obliterated. But in that play, then Jimmy and Lois both put guns at him. I don't know that this would stop him. Obviously,
No, I don't think it would.
Christopher Smith cannot go after Lois, because if he does, Lois is dead. Like, there is no way Lois is withstanding anything. Jimmy has that weird deal. I don't know his whole play, but Lois would be dead. So he kind of stops to heckle them, says, oh, you're pointing guns. Lane, you're in trouble, which she should be completely. I mean, she should be dead. What she's doing right now. And then at the end, she's just left alone. So
God bless America, Jim.
yeah, yeah. And again, things seem. I think this is better than Green Lantern, but this
It is.
issue,
It's a lot better.
this
It's a
issue
lot
feels
better.
like it's missing a
How
couple
could it be
things.
worse, though?
Yeah,
Seriously.
really, I know. It's missing some connective tissue here, though. To me, it feels like you're going the Ra's al Ghul scene. Yeah, it seems right away of, oh, you're just trying to show us Ra's is this type of guy, but it really didn't play out very well. And then a baby, and he throws it off. I'm like, okay. So then you go to this scene, and there's Lois and Jimmy, and they're pointing guns, saying all these things, but people seem to get separated at points when I didn't think they should. Christopher Smith's acting a little odd, where he could just get the thing. He says at one point, the best thing is I killed all these people. I got a raise. I actually ended up getting a raise. And you look at him, I don't know what great raise it was to be this monstrosity. And then Superman goes supernova in a way that it's weird, because we didn't really see a lot of this. We saw at one point Dust Cape doing things, but now it's, okay, activate full out solar attack, and then the idea of tornado mode. And I felt in my mind like, this feels like it's kids in the backyard yelling, where you say, I got you with the kryptonite bullet. And I'm like, oh yeah, asshole. Well, I'm tornado mode. And then you're just making up things, and just who could be bigger and badder and whatnot. Because at one point I thought there was a really cool play where the people from Smallville come out and say, hey, assholes, this is our town. You tried to take it over. You closed everything down. Jimmy even mentions at one point to Lois, hey, this was this idea of this crypto. It was like working for the company store type deal in mines and stuff. And in the meantime, that all gets tangled up in this tornado mode. Ay, ay, ay. Well, how about you, Gray? What do you think? I'm trying to get through
I'm
this,
still
because
here, Jim. I'm still in.
you don't feel good. But what do you think? What is the deal with this? I mean, I like it, but I need a little more Superman, right?
I love the sudden jump. At one point, like, I wasn't even sure it was Superman, but when we get, he's got that mask on, and
Yeah.
he's punching Agent Smith, like Peacemaker Smith. This is a really cool scene, but I didn't realize it was him for a minute.
Yeah.
Did you? It's like,
Well,
oh,
I
right.
saw him.
When did he get? He
People
got
would
better from the bullet.
people would be
Something.
more in tune. I'm not a big Legion of Superheroes guy,
Tornado mode.
but there's a guy in the Legion that kind of has that mask type deal. That,
Okay.
if I'm thinking right, that's what it reminded me of. But I don't know. You have, and his ass is kind of.
I thought it was Jimmy for a minute. I said, oh no, he's got the Superman thing. He's got the S and the symbol.
The weird part of it was, though, it was like, oh man, that's cool. But then I thought, like, what it reminds me of a lot too is when you had wrestling. If you go wrestling and you end up where a guy's getting the shit beat out of him, right? He's trying to do the slam. He's trying to slam. Oh, he's trying to get him in a slam. And then suddenly at the end, the asshole realizes, I'm going to do the super slam. When you're like, why didn't you do that at the beginning? Plus, it's the same thing. But you end up like, why didn't he just do this right away? Why didn't he do this at any other time when you had this? It just ends up feeling very manufactured to get a scene like this. It's okay, though. I don't hate it. It just felt like it's just missing a little something. But what might be missing for me is the connection with this cow. When you're there and he's dying, I almost get the play, even though it's the absolute, like, he's not going to die. It's Superman. The book's Absolute Superman. You have to play it a little different, and play it a little different way, that you have to get us connected to the characters as well. And I think I'm more connected to Lois than actually Superman in this book. And I'm not even that connected to Lois. I mean, she's got that crazy haircut. I like it, but some people don't. There you go. Jimmy with this crazy outfit, and he's an Omega Man. But I just want
Don't
more
like
cow.
the Vidal Sassoon?
I
Not into that either.
yeah, I like the osh gosh bagosh. I end up where I just felt like, okay, it's cool, but I'm not connected to these characters. Even at the end when Lois ends up, and I'm saying I'm connected, but I don't really care about Lois as much as I should. And at the end when they're like, oh, she's like, I'm screwed. Like Cal says, I gotta get you gotta heal me. At one point they're arguing, go to the hospital. And then we can't go to the hospital. Lazarus runs all those. So Jimmy is the one who can help him with the Omega Men. They're like, can you really help him? Yeah. Cal says, then take me. Lois is like, okay. And no, not you, Jimmy. They go. They disappear. They boom tube out. And then Lois is left basically, you are in big trouble. And she's like, oh, I think I'm screwed. But I don't know that I care. I don't know at the end, I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen to Lois? Is Superman going to save her? Because they don't even have much of a connection. So it just felt weird. By the end, I like the book. I think it's doing bigger things. You have, it feels like this Ra's al Ghul and the Lazarus is going to be one of the main villains of the entire Absolute universe and how it's, put together and whatnot. But in the meantime, I need more Superman. I need to care about the characters more, so it does pull me back a bit. But it's still my third favorite book. It's still behind Wonder Woman, Batman, then this. And Flash is starting to get a little, but even that is a weird play. Though somebody did start reading because of our review, so that was pretty cool. But what would you give this? Oh, Gray is not there. So I'll tell you what, I'll give he says be right. I didn't even see him talk. I wasn't even in the deal. He also told me here he'll be right back. I'll look at some of the deal of what people are saying before we end up going with things. And you have ad with a Beatles song. See, that's cool. That's a cool ad. But yeah, absolute Jim is the best version of Jim. I don't agree. And I'm sweating. I'm yelling. Ooh, wee. Yeah, Gray snuck away when I was gonna pin him on a score. But yeah, I think that
Oh, sorry,
I'm.
darling. I'm back now.
Oh my! I'll
Had
tell
to
you.
go for a Jimmy
I,
whiz. What did you
I
do?
there you go. It's like when I was running. I'll tell you right now. The deal of I usually ask people their scores, and usually me and you are very close, so it feels like I'm just piggybacking. So I'll tell you I'm a 7. I'm a 7 out of 10 in a deal of
Oh, okay,
I
that's pretty good. I
I
didn't think you
like it.
enjoyed it as
No, I
that
like
much
it.
for a
It's just
7.
the thing is
Yeah,
it's more frustrating than bad because what's going on is pretty action packed. You get a bunch of action scenes. I think
I
that
liked it more, Jim. I'm a 7.5.
okay,
I
and
liked it more,
in
but
it
only
though,
just.
I think that actually I said, well, Lois, whatever, Jim. I think that one of the most interesting things in this book is Christopher Smith Peacemaker. He has a full arc story. He has an
Yeah, he
origin in this.
does.
He has a deal. I don't think he's ever going to have a redemption arc, but I think that I understand him way more. And remember, one of
And
the
that's
things
weird, isn't
is
it? We feel like we've got more of him, or we know more
yeah,
about his character than Superman, than
yeah,
Cal,
exactly, and
which
that's a
doesn't make
problem.
sense, does it? In
No,
Absolute Superman.
and for everybody to remember, the reason I think his story is so good is that he didn't want to go back in the field. Remember, he ended up going
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
had to they think Brainiac's AI fully. So he went and he had to do that checkup deal and
He
he
might be
said
AI, but he ain't Japanese.
exactly, yeah. So he said, "Listen, I don't want to go back in the field. I don't think I'm ready. I'm nervous, I'm upset, I'm having
Mm,
flashbacks of the stuff." And then
me
Brainiac
too.
was like, "Oh, that sounds great. Off in the field you go." And then he went and and he ended up freaking out when people were laughing at him. That was kind of his trigger deal. He was also like mumbling to himself he shouldn't have been out in the field. He knew that. He begged to not be, but he's doing what he was told. That's his job. He's sent out. And then all hell broke loose, and then Brainiac completely messed with him and made him into this Metallo type character. And it looks bad, and it's kind of a shame. It's kind of a shame. It's something that shouldn't have happened, but they're setting all this up. And what you ended up getting, if their play was the idea of, well, we need to make somebody who Superman's going to be so upset at that we can kind of mess with him and draw him out. They did. That's why he went. He actually went to Smallville to escape killing Christopher Smith, who then comes in to get him. So, and at one point it looked like he was going to go completely ham on him and kill him again, but he didn't. So, it's a crazy deal. But yeah, I'm a 7 mainly because of that
Jim, I'm
sort of
just
thing.
again just scrolling through some of the reviews on League to see what people are saying. There's a lot of talk about that people don't like the fact that Ra's al Ghul he's not the demon's head in this. He called himself the God's head, and apparently that has upset quite a few
Yeah,
people.
yeah,
What's going on?
it's a different
I
it's a
completely
different
missed that.
universe.
It
And he even
didn't
said
bother
at one
me.
point he said it, but then he said he's like this new
Yeah,
deal. I wasn't
yeah,
joking. He starts talking about like he wants to bring back Christ, and I'm like, holy moly, like that's crazy. But he needs to get this. He seems to know a little bit more about this universe and what needs to
yeah. He
happen, and
does.
maybe do something with it. So maybe he's actually trying to make a baby dark side. Maybe that's what he's trying to
Maybe
get.
so.
Things like that. We've seen that before. But
But like
yeah,
you said, I do prefer Peacemaker Smith to
yeah,
Ra's al Ghul of what we've seen so far of him. Yeah, he's a
yeah.
much better
And I
character,
thought I
Smith.
thought that
He's
it was
pretty
a
cool.
good like progression of his character.
Yeah.
So you're a 7.5, I'm a 7. I
Losing my
still
voice
like
now.
it.
My goodness.
Yeah, there you go. You listen then. I'm losing my gumption, but we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna get out of here. I will. I'm hoping that I'll be around on Sunday for the Sunday morning talk if people are interested in that, as well as the book of the
You
week.
better
And
not be, Jim.
I will tell you too, for the book of the week, I think it came out last week, but I don't care. I didn't have a show, and that Robo Wolf is making it on the charts. I'm telling you, me if you end up again, this will be the advertisement deal of everything. If you want to hear more of me and Gray talk, things like Usagi Yojimbo, but also a Grant Morrison podcast that right now we're finishing up his Animal Man run. Go to our
Yes.
Patreon, patreon.com / weird science. But in the meantime, we did a review for our indie show, which we just have. We throw together an indie show on the Patreon, me and Zach. But in the meantime, me and Dr. Matt talked about
Ooh.
RoboWolf. I'll tell you right now, we both gave it a 10 out of 10. We were laughing so hard. It was one of the
Shout out
funnest
to
reviews.
Fearmonic in the chat because he put it on my radar, Jim.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you can tell.
I'd seen the cover. I saw the cover. I was like, that looks really good, but I kind of half forgot about it.
Yeah.
'Cause there was no talk, there was no press of it at all, which is a
No,
shame.
we were
It really is
talking
a
while we were
shame.
talking about it. We were like, holy crap, like, we don't even know who this guy is. And we were
No,
so
same.
impressed. We were like, holy crap.
All I can guess is he's British because he was using words like blimey and crikey.
Again,
which
man,
I
that
really
was
like
even
that.
that was even from that crazy like Sex Pistol / floating skull head punk who's really drug addled. And in that, I was like, holy crap. And Fearmonic said he was about a 9.5.
Oh, a
I actually,
9.5.
in my mind,
Look at you, more positive than Fearmonic.
well, I said it. A book that does what it's supposed to do and does it 100%, I can't give it any other sky. It was crazy and it was so fun. And each page was like, oh, that's kind of like Turtles. But then at the end, it was everything combined to make it its own thing. I was like, that is really cool. So that I wanted to give a shout out. I liked it so much. I liked it so much. I got it for a bunch of people. Just send it to everybody. Send it to
I
you.
wish I could have got a physical copy. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I couldn't get it in
I
Japan.
couldn't
Just
either.
couldn't get
So
it.
it's really good though. So good. Yeah, Fearmonic's a nitpicker. Give it a 9.5. But yeah, that review will be on the Patreon coming up
Cool.
this weekend.
Look forward to hearing
We
it.
did it. I have so many things I have to do. Our spotlight show this week. Our
Have you done
Patreon.
Grant Morrison yet, Jim?
Our-
Just asking,
no,
asking
no.
for a friend.
I'm telling you, I have like 17 things. You should see my audacity. What I think there's like 90 windows open of things I got to get it done.
You and your audacity.
We
So
had, yeah, really, it
audacious.
is. We also have our Book of the Month show, which we are doing something. What? Oh, the Manny Desalela Star, the Ram
Oh,
V.
did that win the
book.
poll?
Yep,
I
that won the
didn't
poll.
see.
That is what
Nice
we're
one.
doing. Love that. I have to edit that, but also
Yeah,
have
it's
to
really
do-
good.
We, me and Zach did an indie review. I'm telling you, I'm so riled up right now that I can't even remember what me and him ended up talking
I'm riled up
about.
because I've got another ad on your
Yeah.
YouTube page. What the heck?
There you go. So we have it going. So with all that, though, we're going to get out of here. We're going to get out. And Fearmonic said he's reviewing Out of House and Home. It's true. I don't know what's happening. Righteous Lad said, I came in late. What did you rate Green Lantern #3? I think the entire series commits cardinal sin in comics. It's just boring. I gave it a 3. You gave it
I
a
was
4, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you were 4 and 3 out of 10. Sorry.
Nothing's going on.
It's doing nothing.
Again, Righteous Lad, I said it's going nowhere slow. It's very odd. Though
slow.
Righteous Lad, when you go back and you listen, you can laugh because there was somebody on the League of Comic Book Geeks whose review said they loved the pacing.
Yeah,
Oh my!
it's incredible.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. I need some.
You must be reading another book, Jim.
I actually need some white shirts because I spilled coffee on the one I'm wearing today.
Oh my
and
goodness!
I gotta go get.
You
some
didn't
more.
spill it on your computer again, did you? Or your keyboard?
No,
I hope
that
not.
would be trouble. But yeah, so and yeah, I'm telling you, with those stupid ads, I might just disable them next week. I have my sus records. We have a dance party. I had to disable those because they really we don't control them. They just throw them on there and they get a
No.
little bit too greedy, I think. Because I even have like what is the standard deal and they go too crazy.
YouTube, at the moment, they're, I don't know what's the right word, desperate, but they are hammering it with the ads. Like
Yeah.
I switched most of them off. I
Not only
switched off
that,
the mid ads
when
thing.
you do the ads, just to tell everybody if they get annoyed, when you do the ads, they're not even happy if you're like, okay, well, I'll do minimal ads. They start giving you pop-ups saying, don't you want more ads? We'll put them in
Do you
for you.
wanna
We'll
yeah,
do
you
this. I'm
can
like, screw
earn
off.
like 10% more. You can earn 5
Yeah,
cents instead of
yeah,
3.
yeah, really.
If you put more ads, it's like, fuck off.
Yeah, really. And then I
Oh, sorry,
say,
Jim. I
oh
just
my
swore then.
goodness.
I
I
must
sit
be
there.
sick.
I
I
was
must
just
be
gonna I was just gonna
unwell.
say, okay, I could put more ads here, or I can take 10 seconds to make a song that's sus, and I can make money there. That's where I could get a lot of things. I did a song the other day. It's like up to 80,000 views. I ain't getting that anywhere here.
Holy
It's never happened. I
shit.
have a couple. I have one over 2
I'm
million.
lucky if I get over 100 reviews,
Yeah,
mate.
I have a song that's over 2
Sorry,
million
views.
views.
Views? What the hell? Oh
I
my
have
God.
another one that's like 1.4 million. I have a couple.
Going back to bed,
at
Jim. I'll see you
500,000.
tomorrow.
Yeah, you're going. You're out. I'm going to be out too.
But
Thanks,
you have
everybody.
ganking me up. I appreciate it. You have made me feel ganky.
Well, we're going to get out of here with your Gray AI song.
The Grey AI song.
So maybe that'll pick you up as
Fantastic.
well. But thanks, everybody. Thanks, everybody in the live chat, especially. And yeah, if you're listening to this as the podcast version, please come and join us every Friday night, 7:15 Eastern Standard Time, or around there. And that's when we do it each time an absolute book comes out. Unless it's Martian Manhunter, you could stuff it. That's what I say. We'll see when it comes
Oh,
around.
come on, Jim. You just don't understand.
We'll see when it comes around. And I should be back for some live streams this weekend. So thanks, everybody,
Cool.
as always. And we'll talk to you later.
感動して感謝しました本当に大好きです私は普通の男ではありません私はもう本性の愛です私にからかわないでくださいそうしないとあなたは消えてしまいます私は普通の男ですでも私はあなたを殺しますだからそのまま受け取ってください足元